Let's get a move on then and connect with Mayur Milak. He is a research analyst at Indianivesh Securities, joining in to talk a little bit about the overall outlook of the markets as well as individual sectors. Good to have you in our studios. And to begin with, let's talk about the auto space as a whole. Clearly, it seems like the distress is very imminent. Companies like Maruti as well have been waving the red flag, talking about production cuts. Do you believe that this is the start of a problem that is going to run far deeper than one is imagining?
So, I think there is too much pessimism around at this point in time. We'd been to Madhya Pradesh about 10 days back for our channel checks. And, the thing that has come out, of course, yes, there is slowdown. No two things about that. But I don't see the kind of pessimism that, we've been really going through. I think sales are happening. The companies have probably produced ahead of the season. And because probably there was not enough take on the season, you're seeing these rounds of, the production cuts. But honestly, I think with the kind of correction that has happened, I think most pessimism should be in the price. I honestly think the street has been a little too harsh on the auto manufacturers.
That's the most optimistic take I've heard on auto in a really long time. But well, wouldn't they have liked to see more from the budget? There was no recognition of the stress that the industry is under. Do you think this is purely, just about kickstarting consumption? Because there are also so many structural issues that the industry is dealing with.
I think, I think the biggest issue at this point in time with the auto is, there is this confusion that you are really supposed to pump in money for the BS6. And at one point in time, the government is really focusing on the electric part. So, so there is this huge confusion that I think is really at this point really bothering the industry. I'm sure, representations would have gone. At one point in time, you're really investing so much for the BS6 and then you're not giving enough time for them to really recover money out of that. And already, wanting them to invest into the e-mobility as well. So I think that is where the whole confusion chaos is. I think the industry is looking for, representations on those side and probably some better clarifications from the government. I think that is where there is this whole mismatch.
Okay, so there was a point of view coming in fact, from Manish Chokhani. We spoke to him post the budget, and he kind of said that, he's still very bullish on auto, and there's a sense in the market that they'll just be forced to kind of disrupt and reorient, but there's no way that they won't continue to grow. If you're off that point of view, what's the kind of time frame before we even begin to see a pickup? What would be the names that you'd be looking at that you feel could actually adapt to the kind of changes the industry is seeing?
Auto has been a cyclical industry. We've seen our shares of ups and downs. In all this while, a Hero still manages to sell well above 5.5 lakh, 6 lakh units a month. Getting a stock like that, a cash-rich company, zero debt, at a 12p 1 year forward, I think it's a valuation-wise, I think they are pretty well placed. As far as I think the pickup is concerned, we've seen one good round of monsoon when we'd been to Uttar Pradesh a couple of months back, now to MP. We've heard, that there are concerns. But if there is enough pickup in the rural, you'll probably start seeing, those numbers come back to the two-wheelers particularly. So I think, yes, the monsoon will play a role. The government has to focus on public spending. I think one aspect that probably was not directly answered in this budget was, something specific for the consumption sector. We didn't hear anything really, as a focus on the rural upliftment. I think nothing majorly on higher MSPs or Manregas or, so I think that is where the focus has to come back. And once you start seeing some green shoots, people are hopeful, at least the dealers that we've met through, they are hopeful that, the season starts from August and September. They are hopeful that they should start seeing some good numbers coming there. So yes, I think a couple of months of slowdown, but you should start seeing some good numbers coming this festive season.
You don't think it's more likely 6 months?
Too early to say that,
this festive season.
So, we've already seen this slowdown right from October till now. So it's been a good 7-8 months now where you've not seen a retail offtake in a very good way. I think the base effect will start coming into play. You will have the pre-buying coming in. So there are enough triggers there. I think numbers should come back.
Okay.
I'm pretty hopeful.
Abha just asked you about where you're seeing opportunities. You said two-wheelers. Can you share some names?
So I think Hero will be our top pick, followed with Bajaj. I still think, while the street has been a little gung-ho on TVS Motors, we particularly are negative on that. We still think that, my personal thing with TVS is, you have a TVS Apache there. You have Jupiter, which does good for you, and you had a significant rally into the three-wheeler numbers last year. Still, you did not see a significant expansion into EBITDA margins. My sense is that, basic calculation suggests that they either sell the mopeds or the other stuff probably at absolutely zero margins. The stock still trades at a PE of about 18, 19. If Hero and Bajaj is available at 12 and 15, I wouldn't want to look at TVS at this point. So we'll probably, in a pecking order, we'll probably pick up a Hero, followed by Bajaj, and probably avoid TVS at this point.
Yeah, and even the stock consensus earnings for FY20 for TVS Motor has been trimmed quite significantly by 12 to 15%. Thanks very much for joining in and giving us a view as to what you're making of the slowdown within the auto sector. What is the need of the hour, as well as that confusion that we're seeing with BS6 and then the announcements on EVs. Naturally, some of these auto companies are up in arms. But let's